Hey, I'm Aliya-Jasmine, and this is a special edition of your Stanley Cup Countdown. Former Toronto Maple Leafs defenseman Bobby Bond's playoff heroics are what the Stanley Cup is all about. So with 10 minutes left in the sixth game of the 1964 final between the Leafs and Detroit Red Wings, Bond broke his foot blocking a shot and was carried off the ice on a stretcher. But he returned heroically in overtime and scored the winner, forcing a Game 7. Bond played in the seventh and deciding game as well, and the Leafs won 4-0 and hoisted Lord Stanley's Cup. In this special edition of the Countdown, we look back at the top 5 Stanley Cup overtime goals of all time. Maple Leaf defenseman Bill Barilko's 1951 overtime winner gave Toronto their 9th Stanley Cup in franchise history. Sadly, the biggest goal of his career would also be his last. 4 months later, Barilko's plane went missing during a fishing trip. The Leafs would not win another cup until 1962, the year his body was discovered.
When we were going into that sixth game, we were pumped, and we knew we had to play well. But then the crowd was just standing.
Right on the stick of Tonelli, coming in with Nystrom. Tonelli to Nystrom, he scores! Bob Nystrom scores the goal. The Islanders win the Stanley Cup.
It pretty much changed my life. People remember me from that moment.
Kane makes a couple of moves there on Timonen. Kane put it to the net. Where is it?
There was really no reaction from any of the refs, any of the Flyers, any of my teammates.
We saw no signal, and we're not sure if they've sent a signal of a goal yet.
Then all of a sudden, you kind of saw the refs, nod their heads that it was in.
The Chicago Blackhawks have won the Stanley Cup.
I think there's maybe 6 or 7 other guys that have done it, and you're one of them.
It's one of the most controversial goals of all time, and it still riles people up to this day, especially in Buffalo. Brett Hull's infamous foot-in-the-crease Stanley Cup winner from 1999.
Brett Hull on this line for the Dallas Stars. Just by Hull. Shot. You're letting it. Hull, loose puck. Hull, shot. Score. The Dallas Stars. Brett Hull. They've won the Stanley Cup.
Shouldn't have counted. Given the rule that was there at the time, which was a crazy rule, it shouldn't have counted.
I don't know how many times you can tell people over and over again, they decided if you had possession while you were in the crease, you could score a goal. I would guess almost daily that someone says no goal. I'll live in infamy forever as the most talked about goals in the history of the game.
For all hockey fans, young and old, there probably is not a more iconic Stanley Cup winning goal than Bobby Orr's in Game 4 of the 1970 finals.
Keenan cleared it, but not out. Bobby Orr behind the net to Sanderson. Orr! Bobby Orr! Scores in the Boston Bruins! Have won the Stanley Cup!
I jumped, and Noel Picard helped me a little bit, but I helped it. I did help it. I jumped. It was very exciting.
Don't forget to log on to Facebook.com/NHL and Twitter.com/NHL for much more on the NHL playoffs. I'm Aliya-Jasmine, and I will see you tomorrow.
Here's tonight's Stanley Cup game matchup.